Alright, so as of the day I'm recording this, tomorrow is the last day that the Wii U and 3DS online servers will be up for people to play on officially. If you don't know, you can mod your Wii U, set up Pretendo, network, and stuff, and do stuff in that. I haven't researched that a ton, so I'll probably do that sometime down the line. But I grew up with the Wii U and 3DS. I grew up with the Wii and PS2 before that, but the Wii U and 3DS were definitely a big part of my childhood. I think the 3DS more so, but in terms of online, the Wii U actually was. So today I'm basically just gonna recount my experiences with online gaming on Wii U and 3DS over the years, and yeah, just kind of go from there. I think first, I just want to preface, I'm not a huge online gamer to begin with. I've never played a ton of online multiplayer unless it was like specifically with like a friend or two in a certain game, but I was never one to like just go on a game, hop onto some servers and play like a round of Call of Duty. I never had Call of Duty, so that's partly why, but you get my point. I wasn't someone who typically found the most fun in a game playing online multiplayer, but there were times where I genuinely did have fun. And I think one of those, I'm gonna start with like a really weird one. Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. The odd time I just hop in, I'm pretty sure there was online in this one, unless I'm confusing it with the 2020 Tokyo Games on Switch. If I am, we'll just cut to the next game right now. I feel like I remember it was either competing online against people, or there was some sort of ranking system where you could like get high scores, and there was like worldwide high scores and friends high scores. I know I was always competing with my friends on that. Like I think only one of my other friends actually owned a Wii U and Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Olympic Games. But yeah, I remember that specifically. Like I said, I don't remember if I was actually playing online against people in that game, or if I was just setting records against people online. I feel like I got a world record for triple jump at some point. If I did, I'll throw a picture up on screen. I don't know. But yeah, overall, that was just like a really fun game on Wii U in general. Like I'd bring it over to my friend's house that owned a Wii U, and we'd just all play it together and stuff. It was a fun time. The next one is just like a staple of Wii U games in general, but also the Wii U online ecosystem, Super Mario Maker. I got this game in late 2015, I think November 2015, if I remember correctly. I don't know if I was an early adopter or not. I can't even remember when the game came out, but I played a lot of this game online. I think most of what I did was creating levels and uploading a few of them, but I think I did play through a decent amount. I went back on yesterday and just played some and recorded some footage for this video that I knew I was going to record. But yeah, I didn't realize I played like 500 levels or so or something, or that might have been like 500 attempts at levels. I don't know. The actual count might have been 100 or 200 levels, something like that. I didn't know I played hundreds of levels of Mario Maker, so that's pretty cool to go back and look on. That whole game is going to feel very different after this online service shutdown, because that game's core concept revolves around the online, with uploading levels, which was already removed. I think that was like 2021 or 2022, not 100% sure, but yeah, that was removed a year or two ago already. So basically right now you can only play levels online. Even still, there are the odd times you'll encounter an error code too, so it's definitely not as stable as it used to be, unless maybe my nostalgia is just clouding how stable the Wii U servers used to be. The game's gonna feel very different once the online shuts down tomorrow. You're not gonna be able to play any levels. I've been downloading a few levels. I've downloaded some that I haven't played yet, just so that I can come back to the game and experience new levels that I haven't tried. I've also been playing through the Nintendo event levels to try and get as many of the mystery mushroom costumes as I possibly can. But yeah, in terms of Wii U games online, that was definitely the one I probably sunk the most time into. Either that or the next game, Splatoon. Because again, this is another game that, like, yes, it does have a single player story mode, but its core concept, again, revolves around online because it's a multiplayer third-person shooter slash turf war game. But I was never a big fan of shooters, so I never got like super into Splatoon, but I played it a lot more than I did any other shooter, probably just because it was a Nintendo game and it was on Wii U, and it looked colorful and appealing to me. That probably was the one I played the most online, because Mario Maker I would have spent time making levels offline, whereas Splatoon I don't think I've really touched most of the story mode. I've mostly only played online. I think I got up to level 10 or something. I don't quite remember though, because I played across 2 accounts. They had that like mini game you could play while it was loading, the squid jump. I don't think they brought that back for Splatoon 2 or 3, mostly because you don't have a gamepad to play that game on while the game's loading on your main screen. But yeah, Splatoon 1, I don't know. I've played Splatoon 1 and 2. They don't feel largely different, but playing Splatoon 1 was more fun for me, probably because of nostalgia, or just because it was the first game and it did what it did so well, and that was creating like a Nintendo-ified first-person shooter that anyone could play. But yeah, that's another game that, again, once the server shut down tomorrow, we're gonna lose like the core appeal of the game. Another one I played a decent amount online, but not a ton, Mario Kart 8. I think I've played it more online as of recently, which is funny because I own Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I've still played Mario Kart 8 on Wii U online. Probably not more, but close to the same amount as Deluxe. But yeah, that, again, Mario Kart online, it's just fun and simple. And the servers were always pretty full, even up until recently. Like, I was racing like over the past couple of years. All of the races were no less than like maybe 6 or 7 people, which if you play Deluxe, obviously, that's probably a drop off, but like they were always near full. I don't think they ever got to full 12 people. They might have like maybe once or twice, but they were never like empty or hard to find a game. Moving on from the Wii U to the 3DS now. I didn't play the 3DS online nearly as much as I did the Wii U. Most of that was down to the fact that I played multiplayer modes in 3DS games locally. From what I did play of online, I think Pokemon, just all the Pokemon games on 3DS, Pokemon X, Y, Sun, Moon. Definitely Pokemon X and Y more so, though, because that was, like, my first ever Pokemon generation, and I played a crap ton of those games. It was the Wonder Trade feature, that, and I guess also a bit of the global trading system or whatever it was called, where you could like send off a Pokemon and set like which Pokemon you'd want traded for it. But yeah, it was definitely Wonder Trade. That by far was what I sunk most of my time into. Like every morning before school, me and my brother would just be catching a bunch of Pokemon, Wonder Trading them with a bunch of random people over the world, and mostly getting like Weedles and Wurmples and stuff. But there was the odd time that you'd get like a shiny Azelf, which was mind-blowing, or a shiny Kyogre. Like there were times where people traded ridiculous things, and it was just such a cool concept as a kid that you could trade a Pokemon with some random person across the world and potentially either get the exact same thing you're trading them, which is just some fodder you caught on like Route 12, or you could be getting like some crazy hacked legendary Pokemon. And then the odd time you'd like run into people, because like the bottom screen, like if you were connected to the internet, it would always refresh with your friends, and if they were online playing Pokemon, as well as acquaintances and stuff, those would be like people you've Wonder Traded with. And then sometimes those people would request you to battle, or you could request to battle them, or more directly trade them. So I remember doing that a fair amount too. Those were such fun times, and that's really sad that that's going away. It's definitely nowhere near as lively as it used to be, because I remember, I think in the past year or two probably, I went back on just to see if like Wonder Trade or stuff was up, and there were a decent amount of times where it was like, oh, there's nobody found to trade with or whatever. But you could definitely still find people. It was just a lot less than when the games first came out. Mario Kart 7, another game I played a decent amount of online. There was one time I played online, and I thought I was playing with Nico BBQ, but it turned out to be a bot, so that was funny. But yeah, again, Mario Kart, I don't tend to play online too much. I mostly just play the single player to, like, complete all of the cups in either 100cc or 150cc, or when I was really little, just 50cc. Every now and then, if I'm like, oh, you know, this will be a fun experience, I feel like playing with some real people, then yeah, I did pop the game in, but I don't have too many memories. Most of them are more local multiplayer with Mario Fan 27. I don't know if my friends had Mario Kart 7. I know they had Super Smash Bros, and we did a ton of local multiplayer of that. That game was so much fun, but I did not play that game online at all until just like, I think a month or two ago. I played like my first couple of online games. I got my ass kicked. I am not good at Smash Bros. I guess on Wii U I did play that a little online too more recently, but growing up, I didn't play those games online too much. Those were more the local multiplayer / single-player games. Finally, I think I'm going to touch on the Mii Plaza games, just because those were such a big part of anybody that owned a 3DS. The Mii Plaza just comes built in, and you have Puzzle Swap and Find Me, I think, are the two that are definitely free. And then later down the line, like, I think it was like 4 or 5 years after the 3DS's launch that they finally added like DLC games you could play, like those Slot Car and whatever the heck else. But yeah, those are really fun. Puzzle Swap has always been my favorite. I just love the idea of collecting puzzle pieces from other people you meet, and like Nintendo would send you some themselves and you could buy them with play coins as well. But yeah, you could just like build up your own puzzles, and they'd always add new puzzles, so there was always so many new pieces to collect. It was just such a big incentive to take your 3DS places, which as a child I did not do enough, and I really wish I did. But the couple of times I did do it, I filled out my plaza, and I'm pretty sure I got a decent amount of puzzles, because there are a fair amount I remember. Most of them are like the Mario ones, that like weird glossy Mario puzzle with Mario, Luigi, and Bowser, the Mario Galaxy puzzle. I don't have that anymore, because all that was on my original 3DS, which broke because the charger port got ripped out by a third-party car charger, and I'll never be able to let that go, but that's for another video. But yeah, Mii Plaza games, we had Puzzle Swap, of course, which definitely was my personal favorite, and I feel like was a big one for everybody else too, just because you could technically play it in perpetuity, because it had so many puzzles, so many pieces, it would take forever to collect every single one. The other big one, though, was Find Me, and that was the one where you'd get their Mii in your plaza, and you could use them to fight off ghosts, and your goal was to, like, save your Mii, which was locked away in a tower, and you had to get through each level to eventually get to it. I feel like they released a Find Me 2 at some point as well. I don't remember, but that sounds familiar. But yeah, I think that kind of brings us to the end of the video, and while I am really sad that these online servers from my childhood are being shut down, and I will never get the chance to officially experience these games again, the way you experience them nowadays, it wasn't the same as the heyday, and I'm just so glad that I got to play any amount of these games online back in like the early to mid 2010s when these consoles were big, just because it was such a fun experience to... It's always just a fun experience to play games you enjoy with people online as well. It's just something unique about it. I can't really put it into words right now. Alright, so it's been a couple of days since the Wii U and 3DS servers have shut down, and I went back and played a couple more games. I played all the 3DS games that you saw the footage for in this video, the day of the shutdown, and I also played some more Mario Maker and Mario Kart 8, and it finally came to me how to describe, maybe not both services, but at least the Wii U online. It's because it was such a smaller community, because the console didn't sell well, but because of that, it just had a different feel to it. Like, you were part of like this special group of people that owned the Wii U, and it wasn't something that beyond tens of millions of people owned. And I don't know, it just had this like special feeling, especially going back and playing the games on that final day. The servers were filling up every single time, able to get so many good rounds of Mario Kart in. It was just such a fun and nice send-off. But yeah, I just thought I'd come back and add that in. That's what it felt like. It felt like you were part of a special club. I think that's basically all I had to say, so we'll throw it back to past me to do the outro. Anyways, I'm just happy that I got to play all these games online when I did, and they gave me so many memories and so many great childhood experiences. But again, it is unfortunate that people now and in the future aren't going to get to experience those games online in the same way that we did growing up with these consoles, or as adults at the time playing these consoles. But yeah, as of tomorrow, the 3DS and Wii U online servers will be shut down. So I know I'll be playing some games in that time, but let me know in the comments what your favorite memories were with the Wii U and 3DS online. If there were any games I didn't mention in this video that you guys played, feel free to let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and go mod your Wii U so that you can set up a Pretendo account and play Wii U and 3DS games online in the future. Bye-bye.